Okay. So Sag, already we have a card that is here in the sun position, in the moon position, the Mercury position. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick a card for, this is the Venus position, and I'll turn these over as we get to them. That was, my whole point. But these popped out actually, and I'd already laid them out. They popped out. I'll show them. Okay, so we got the Venus position, the Mars position, Jupiter, Saturn, and the outcome. So Sag, to start off with, I am feeling like that we've got the Four of Coins reversed in the Sun position. And the Sun position is going to talk about who you are this month, Sag. Your vitality, your success, what brings you joy, your, status in the world. I think this even speaks to your level of magnetism and attraction, maybe to and from other people. So we've got the Four of Coins reversed, and I spoke earlier about some of you Sagittarius wanting to possibly get into a second marriage, and I forgot to mention that for some of you, it's not a second marriage. I think that some of you might be looking, I'm sorry, there's a glare. Let me see if I can pull this in a little bit. Some of you may be looking to start some sort of business partnership with somebody, but I still feel like that there's a need to wait. And I think Sagittarius, the reason being is because some of you right now don't have the money to actually do that, whether that is to start in a new relationship, possibly a new marriage, or whether it is not you, or whether or not it's you trying to possibly form some sort of business partnership with somebody, or maybe invest into somebody. I don't think that there's a problem with the partnership itself, at least not yet. I don't see that yet. I feel like it's more of a financial thing. Some of you Sagittarius may just not have the means to move in the way that you want to move yet. Let's go ahead and move on for a second. In the moon position, which the moon talks about our personal life, it talks about our emotions, it talks about our personal relationships. This could talk about our dreams and the subconscious. This includes how you might feel about your mother, or the maternal figure in your life, the female energies in your life. We've got the Judgment card. Judgment card is ruled by the sign of Pluto. This is the final judgment. So, Sagittarius, I feel like some of you have decided possibly to end a previous relationship, and I'm thinking it's a marriage. I think that you've made a sound decision, and if you have some things going on legally, Sagittarius, where it comes to personal matters or personal relationships, this could be in business as well, because I did talk about personal relationships. And when you have a business partner, oftentimes that can be a personal relationship. It is a sort of personal relationship. Whether you all go bowling on the weekends or not, your business partner is wrapped up into your money. So yeah, I take that real personal. I can see this zooming in and out, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep that still. So Sag, what I'm feeling like though is you've made some sound decisions. I think it is what it is. And anything that may be going on, like I said, legally, or maybe the way that you have come to a final judgment about a situation, I really feel like all of that works out in your favor. You're good there, Sagittarius. Even if you are financially strapped, even if you don't feel like on a tangible level you have all the things that you need, I feel like emotionally, personally, you're okay there. You've whatever you think or thought it was is what it is, and I think you've made appropriate decisions, and I really think, Sagittarius, that you have really taken the time to get to the truth of the matter, and I mean the deep, dark, down, and dirty truth about whatever the matter is. And that those final judgments are sound and secure, and they are based, in fact, on the truth. I think it's all good there. In the Mercury position, and the Mercury position can talk about work. It can talk about our short distance travels, our siblings. This is social media, advertisements, all things communication. You have the World card upright. I forgot to mention that the Judgment card is a major arcana, and so is the World card. You have those right on top of each other. So what I feel like, Sagittarius, is where it comes to how you think about things on a personal level, the things that are on your mind, the way that you handle your personal relationships. I think you have come full circle. There have been many lessons learned, and I think you learned them well, whether or not that was comfortable or not. It may not have been very comfortable with this Four of Coins reversed, but Sagittarius, you've come to a place of completion for sure. Now, the other thing too is I feel like I said at the top of the reading that some of you Sagittarius, I was saying, don't waste words on petty situations or petty people. And I think it is because whatever your ideas and your thoughts and things that you're communicating about now, Sagittarius, it's for a bigger purpose. I think that you stand to change the game some sort of way by what you say. Your ideas are fit for a king right now. Your communications are fit for a king. They're fit, for the collective. So wasting words and ideas and thoughts and exchange on petty situations and petty people, not so much. You got something bigger going on here. And I think it is because you become the authority on, the way that you think about things, the way you process information. And it's due to the experiences that you've had throughout your life. On a more mundane level, I feel like some of you Sagittarius are, I feel like some of you may be having some speeches that might be coming up. You might be giving a talk at your local library. Some of you may just be spending some time getting some information from the library or maybe the internet in order for you to complete a particular cycle. And that could be within a marriage. Maybe some of you are looking to make sure that you have all of the right information as it pertains to maybe some legal situations that you may have coming up with a personal partner. But I do feel like some of you are maybe giving seminars, having talks at your local community center, amongst people in your neighborhood, your day-to-day activity. Like I said, at your local library. Some of you may be putting out some great information about truth online in social media. This is, where you're making those profound statements on Facebook and they affect, everybody that you come into contact with. And I feel like those communications are, in fact, based on the truth and they're sound and you know what you're talking about, Sag. So in the Venus position, which talks about your money, it talks about, who you're attracted to, the way you choose to receive love, the way that you prefer to receive love. It talks about your creative expression, what you find beautiful and comfortable. I'm sorry. Oh, we got the King of Wands upright. Sagittarius, I feel like you are looking at somebody Oh, before we go there, and I'm sorry, we're just getting to the good part, but I do want to go back to this world card. Some of you at work, Sagittarius, have completed some projects, something that was going on in the work sector of your life that you may have been working on for a while, and it's finally at its completion. And I think it's the bomb. I think that whatever it is that you have been working on is all that and then some. It looks like you really did a good job at whatever it was. And the other thing is, I want to say, I feel like some of you Sagittarians, wherever it is that you have been employed, I feel like some of you may have been doing some training and you've completed that, and now you are moving into a particular position that you may have been obsessing over for a while. Because I feel like for some of you Sagittarius that you had your eye on a particular spot, a particular position at work, and you've done all of these things, and you've done them in such an exemplary. I can't even talk. See, I'm not smart like you, Sage. Oh God, you've done them in such a great manner, because I can't even exemplary. I don't think it's what I was trying to get out. Let me stick to words. Like, you did a good job, and so now you can move into the position, the spot that you want to move into. That's what I get. Trying to look damn smart, ain't working out. Anyway, so Sagittarius, back to the Venus position. We have got the King of Wands. So for some of you Sagittarians, where it comes to love and romance, I feel like you have your eye on Aries, Leo, or another Sagittarian. This is somebody who is larger than life to you, and they bring the spark to your life. I feel like they could be a little demanding and pushy, but like, they're of great spirit. They've got this great energy, this great stride. I mean, I think this is a person, Sag, when they are hard to try to you. Now, for those of you in work who I said may have really, really done something, because this can also be, the energies that you're putting out, Sag. So for those of you who I feel like have completed some sort of project or something at work, like, I just think you did it to death. I mean, you put an amount of creativity and energy and effort into this that is going to be respected by all. I feel like some of you Sagittarians are like paving the way for something big. I think that these big things are going on with you Sagittarius this month. So this little Four of Coins right here, don't let this get you down. This lack of resources that you may be feeling like that, you're having issue with. As it pertains to the cards that we've pulled so far, it's a small thing to a giant. I feel like you could be getting a lot of praise about some work that you're putting on something, Sagittarius. So let's move on. Okay, let's not move on yet. I want to say, before we do move on, that we are currently in Venus retrograde season. Even though Venus won't retrograde until March next month, we are already in shadow, okay? So things around love and relationships and partnerships and how we make our money are really going to come into question. So I do want to put it out there, Sag, that with Venus retrograde, and some of you that have left relationships, you may be looking back at them and thinking, actually that person was pretty hot. Or remembering the passion and the good time and the high energy that you had when you were with this person. I just want to say, with Venus being in shadow and getting ready to go retrograde, be sure you know what you're looking at. Now, I think if it's somebody that you've already dealt with before, and you get back with this person while Venus is in retrograde, they could come back simply so you all can deal with closure, or getting to the truth of a matter with this judgment card. But I think going back, if somebody pops back up into your life, I'm not saying that it won't work. In this situation, I think sometimes it could work with somebody who might pop up if you clear the air, if you get to the truth of whatever the matter was that was between you. Now, if somebody new is coming along while we're in this retrograde season, then I want to say be careful with that, because while they may be hot to trot and looking like the king of everything, it may not be that. Once Venus starts to move forward again, you may find yourself feeling like this person was not all that great. Now, for some of you Sagittarius, like I said, who are currently in a relationship or maybe dealing with somebody who may be coming back, we are, I forgot to mention, having a lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo. And I said that this King of Wands could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So, Sag, I'm feeling like this is a good time, really. This is a good time with this person. And I think that this lunar eclipse is going to bring into focus where that passion, where that fire is. For those of you who may not have been feeling it all the way emotionally with a particular person, I think with this lunar eclipse in Leo, as it pertains to this King of Wands, in your case, Sagittarius, I think things can get really hot and heavy, and I think that in a good way. I really think that you could find yourself having a damn good time with this person. In the Mars position, and Mars talks about our hostility, it talks about aggression, it talks about our sexual passion, what it is that we put our energies into, the desires that we have. Now, oh gosh, okay, Okay, before I say that, I want to say, no, I'm not going to say that. Okay, we're going to move on, because Venus is about to move into the sign of Aries as well. So I was about to talk about Venus being in the sign of Pisces, but no, we're going to move on because Venus is moving into the sign of Aries. So I'm kind of feeling like there's not a whole lot of reason to visit that Venus and Pisces situation right now. So anyway, okay. We've got the devil reversed in the Mars position. Okay, Sage. Sage, I do feel like whatever it is that you have been feeling like has kept you caged in. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that. I think that you really have the energy and the gusto and the hope and the drive and the desire to move forward, to break free from that. This is the third major arcana. If I hadn't said that, this is the third major arcana in this reading. So Sagittarius, you're dealing with some big stuff this month. And right now it all looks positive. Even with this is the devil card, but being reversed, and with this particular devil card, as you can see, this is spirit above material. It's in the right position. We've got the 5-pointed star in the upright position. So that talks about heading towards the higher things, higher consciousness, higher spirit. This is about taking the high road, you know what I'm saying? The or having high moral ground, or whatever it is, however you want to say that. I probably didn't say that right either. But this is about being able to free yourself from whatever it is that has held you down, or whatever it is that you felt like that you had to rely on in order to get through in life. The devil card can talk about addictions to drugs, sex, rock and roll, whatever. And you just have what it takes to come out of that. Like, so far, this is all good. The only thing that I'm seeing right now, and like I said, this is a small thing to a giant, is that some of you just may not have the means, or you feel like you don't have the means. I don't even know if that's true. You may just be feeling as if there's some inadequacy or some limits, but I just don't right now. No limits, Sagittarius. No limits, limitless. I'm feeling like you are right now. It's like you got the world in your hands, and you have got the fire and the drive and the creativity and the passion. Some of you actually have that even by your side to help support you through this. For some of you who may have been dealing with addictions, this is all good. I think you got to the truth of the matter, Sagittarius. For those of you, you may have been addicted to gambling. Yeah, that's what's coming up to me for more than drugs or anything. Gambling is what just came up. So for some of you Sagittarius, I feel like you really are putting the end to a gambling problem. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that. This could be shopping. I feel like it's anything that's taken out of your bank account. Whatever it is that you may have been relying on, Sagittarius. And I mean, it could be a personal relationship. This could have been relying on somebody in the home. And now you can't rely on that person anymore. But you're good. You're good on your own. You got everything you need, whether you know it or not. Lord, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Nine of Pentacles comes up. If it does, I'm going to faint. But I just feel like you're headed towards everything you need. You've made wow, Sagittarius, you have really made some progress. That's what I'm thinking. So in the Jupiter position, Jupiter talks about good luck, expansion. I'm sorry, I had to get some coffee. Talks about good luck, expansion, our acquisitions. Now, this could also talk about legal situations and things like that. Jupiter is about to retrograde. So again, I feel like some of you Sagittarius who may have had some things going on legally, possibly with the spouse that you may be trying to leave. And I feel like all of this goes in your favor. Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Libra, which is one-on-one relationships. This could also be with a business partner. Is going to give you an opportunity to go back and make sure you're good legally. Maybe that's what's holding you back, Sag. Maybe that's what's holding you back. Is there some things that you need to go over, or are going to have to, whether you know it or not, or you're going to realize now that you got to get back and go over again and kind of rethink, replay, and maybe redo a little bit. So that you can move on. But I really feel like it's all good. In the Jupiter position, we got the Five of Coins. Okay. Okay, so Sag, we're back to talking about your money. You don't have as much money, I think, as you need to move around. And I think these legal situations that some of you Sages may be in, is the reason why. And I feel like these legal things are going on with you and a spouse, or you and a business partner. And I think that you are feeling like it's putting you in the poorhouse right now. But really, I'm still saying that it's not. I just think that it feels worse than it is. I just feel like the limitations that are coming around you have to do with your money. For some of you Sagittarius, it may have to do with your health too. But all of that is going to come to an end. For some of you Sagittarius who may be dealing with some health problems, and you may have spent some time, maybe some of you Sagittarius may have been hospitalized lately due to some health conditions. And I think you may hear some things now. You may get a solution to the problem. For some of you who may have been trying to have some sort of procedure or something, and maybe your insurance didn't cover it, I think it does now. Maybe you've been paying out of your pocket for something, and maybe you get some compensation for that now. But whatever it is, Sagittarius, I feel like, it's making you feel limited in some way. It is putting a strain on your pocketbook. Let's see what's in the Saturn position. Saturn's going to talk about the things that can restrict us, the obstacles that we can have. Did I show that card, guys? I'm not sure. It could talk about making us responsible adults, making us the authority on things. Let's see what's in this. Okay. We've got the Hangman reversed. Another major arcana. Yeah. Sagittarius. Again. It's all good. Where you may be feeling like your hands are tied, Sagittarius, where you may be feeling like you are in some sort of limbo and it's due to your money, all of that is about to change. All of that is about to change. Man, you got some stuff going on here, Sag. You got the Judgment card, the World card, you've got the Devil card, and you've got the Hangman. 4 major arcana. Let me go ahead. I want to pull this outcome card before I talk some more, and then I'm going to go back a little bit. The outcome is you getting rid of the excess. Again, this is about your money. This is a 2 of coins reversed. There may be some things that you have to come up off of, Sag. Looks like money. But your hands are not as tight as you think they are. Let me be honest, you're gonna have some issues with money this month, okay? You are. We've had too many pentacles come up to say that for me to just sit here and say that money is not going to be an issue. You are not going to feel like you have as much money as you need, Sagittarius. And that's just real. The thing about it is, really, it's not as bad as you think it is. That's what I'm trying to say. The only thing that is holding you back from whatever moves it is that you are trying to make is your money. Venus going into retrograde is affecting the money. And let me tell you, I know I'm having that issue right now personally. The way that I make my money, it's like really, really slow right now. Like last month was popping, but it's just slow. It's kind of quiet. I still got things going on, but not to the magnitude that they were going on just a couple weeks ago. I can feel this entry into this Venus retrograde shadow. So this may be having an effect on all of us, Sagittarius. So don't take it personal. Everything else, your love life, even if you are coming out of some situation with somebody, but I think this King of Wands that could be coming into the life of you Sagittarians, this Aries, Leo, or other Sagittarius, and it doesn't have to be their sun sign. It could be on their moon or rising, or they could have a lot of fire in their chart. All of that's all good. And I feel like that you are putting a whole lot of energy and passion. Your drive and desire is, it's at optimal performance when it comes to you doing what you need to do, doing it right and completing the cycles. You may be having some issues with the cash flow right now, Sagittarius, but I really feel like that's coming to an end for you. It is not as bad as you think. It really isn't. It's not as bad as you think.